All of you Sons of Anarchy fans must have been feeling very lonely for the past 8 years or so. Sure, we got Mayans MC, but it's not quite the same as seeing our beloved Charlie Hunnam on our TVs, is it? Don't worry, because we've got just the fix for that. In this video, we'll give you a little update on what your fave has been up to, and talk about a potential Sons of Anarchy return. Let's dig in. First up, that series was all about motorcycles. And no, we don't mean this in a garage set sitcom type of way. Bikes are literally the main plot of that show. The hit crime drama series was centered around biker gangs. So that means one thing. Everyone that you see on screen, yeah, they're riding those bikes. Now for a show that ran for about 6 years, you can hardly expect us to believe that they used a green screen in those bike scenes. That's simply not possible. Not to mention, that would just mean that they're constantly filming around green screens, which isn't very cheap either. Why do that when you can just have the actors ride the bike themselves? That does increase risk by a lot, and it can get dangerous on sets. We all remember Dear Johnny Lewis. The actor left the show after the second season, but he suffered a motorcycle accident only 2 years later, one that cost him his life. But that has us wondering. They probably don't teach these actors to ride bikes, of course. They hire actors who already know and do it well. The show has ended, but do these people still ride motorcycles as passionately as they did in the series? We know that Hunnam does. Coming up, Charlie still has one of his motorcycles from the show. Our main guy, Jackson Jax Teller, is still keeping up with his legacy. Charlie recently revealed that he still has one of the motorcycles from the series. It's the one that he rode. He said, "I have one of the Sons of Anarchy bikes." The 42-year-old actor said that he rode so hard for so long over the time that they filmed the show, it got to the point that he was riding all the time. We don't know about you, but that sounds a bit dangerous. Motorcycles are no piece of cake. Helmet or no helmet, one wrong turn and everything can come crashing down, quite literally. Charlie knows of the risk. In fact, he's experienced it. The actor said that he's had quite a few close calls, and we're not surprised. No matter how expert of a rider you are, that man rode motorcycles for a living. Of course he'd get close calls. But our man wasn't making rash decisions after the show ended. He said he tried to take it easy for a while and avoid such adverse risks. For about 5 years, he hasn't been riding as much as he once was. But that's gonna change. Hunnam said that he's getting that urge to just get on a bike and ride to his heart's content. And judging by the looks of it, we think that'll be going on for a very long time. Now for the big one. Charlie was the best biker in the show's cast. They say when you're good at something, never do it for free. It looks like this actor took this advice to heart. Remember how we said this show probably hired actors who could already ride motorcycles? Well, that's not entirely true. Of course, the best case scenario was that they all knew how to ride one already. But this is the real world where you never get what you want. So the show had a mix of actors, people who just knew and those who simply did not. And of all those, Charlie became the best biker on the team. Actor Kim Coates played Tig on the show. He recently sat down for an interview where he revealed that his co-star ended up being the best of them all. Kim also revealed that only 3 of the lead actors could actually ride at first. That included himself, of course, but other great names like Mark Boone Jr. and David LaBrava. So Charlie obviously couldn't. The show even had a bunch of people who lied and said that they knew how to, not revealing any names, of course. That was all well until they actually had to ride one and then kept falling. Kim joked, "Well, you're a liar." It turns out that everyone had to go to bike school, and by the end of the show, Charlie emerged to the top of the class. Fun fact, all of the cast members rode to work every day. Some actors rehearse by going over lines. These people just ride bikes. Moving on, Hunnam says Sons of Anarchy was the best job of his career. That's a big statement, especially coming from an actor who's also starred in movies like The Gentleman. Hunnam has an impressive body of work that includes projects like Green Street Hooligans, King Arthur, Legend of the Sword, and Triple Frontier. But for him, Sons of Anarchy tops them all. Perhaps the main reason that he said that is simply because Sons of Anarchy was a show. All of his other major projects have been films, and our guy is a big fan of long-form storytelling. The 42-year-old said, "I think Sons of Anarchy Anarchy was the most satisfying. For the same reason, Charlie is very excited to star in the new Apple TV series Shantaram. Since Sons of Anarchy ended, he's been waiting to get back to the kind of long-form storytelling that he's always loved, and this show is his knight in shining armor. But that's not the only reason behind his excitement. He read the novel that this series is based on 7 years ago. Safe to say, our man has been obsessed. He's wanted to be a part of the team ever since the TV adaptation came into work. His dream is finally coming true, but it's taking longer than he hoped to get it fully working. He said that he wanted to give this show to the audience about 5 years ago. Unfortunately, it hasn't worked out the way he had planned. We hope it releases soon because we can't take it anymore. We want more Hunnam content on our screens.
I talked to Tara. I told you, my family is off limits.
Up next, this actor has some ideas for a Sons of Anarchy return. The man described the show as the best job of his life. He's in the same boat as us, dying to get it back in some way or another. Now, if the show was to return, we know we won't be really seeing Charlie in it. After all, the show was more like Shakespearean or Greek tragedy turned into a modern-day crime drama. Like most tragedies, our hero Jax had to sacrifice his life for the sake of his sons. Jax is dead, but that doesn't mean the show has to be. We've seen this with Breaking Bad. Just because the main character dies doesn't mean there's no room for any potential prequels or spin-offs. We have hope, and so does Hunnam. He was recently asked about this in an interview with Access Hollywood. Does he see a world where he would be able to play Jax again? Turns out Charlie has thought about this more than we have. He revealed that he has an idea that he's actively working on. It's still in its infancy, but there could be some major discussions around it soon, so make sure to keep a lookout. Until then, we can speculate. If Charlie is to play Jax again, it would have to be a prequel series, but the show can return with the sequel focused on his sons too, and maybe Hunnam is involved in some other creative role. We can't wait to find out. And while we wait, we already have one spin-off to keep us going. Mayans MC is going strong, and even that show has been dropping some hints. Warning, spoilers ahead. Finally, Mayans MC Season 4 ends with the huge Sons of Anarchy return. Maybe Charlie's idea isn't in infancy. Maybe we're about to see it explode on our TV screens soon enough. The Sons of Anarchy spin-off series, Mayans MC, ended its latest season with a very familiar face. It was none other than Tig Trager, played by Coates himself. Tig has always been a fan favorite on the show, and now he's finally part of the multiverse. We're not going to give anything away in case you're still waiting to watch the finale, but Tig's entry has been a massive treat for all of us longtime fans. Season 4 has been dealing with the war between the Sons and the Mayans, making it all the more exciting. Tig's return has also been a long time coming, as the Mayans MC co-creator, Elgin James, has expressed his desire to bring Kim back onto the show many times. This opens up a lot of room for Season 5. Maybe Sons of Anarchy won't get a return of its own. Perhaps it'll get merged with Mayans MC in the show's 5th season. That would be amazing, and we can't wait to see it. And with that, that's a wrap for this video. Do you think Sons of Anarchy is getting another spin-off? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. Thanks for watching, and we'll see ya in the next one.